The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
And welcome into the EP Podcast. My name is Chris Lanuti, and this is your weekend update. It's not the full show, it's just part of a show. It's a quick show, a show that gives you everything you need to know about Evergreen Park and the surrounding area this weekend. We've got lots of good stuff for you. It's all brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Whether you're saving for your first home, your child's education, or looking ahead to retirement, the First National Bank of Evergreen Park has the solutions and expertise to help you reach your savings goals. Their expert team of bankers are here to support you every step of the way with great savings accounts, certificates of deposit, and more. To find an account that's right for you, make an appointment right now to meet with a banker at bankevergreenpark.com/EPPod, member FDIC. I was actually just in there on 95th and Pulaski this week, opening up a new bank account at the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Pretty easy, actually. Already using the online banking tools. Loving it. There's a couple of big events coming up this weekend here in Evergreen Park. We're going to get to that in moments, but first, your weekend weather. The day this comes out on Friday the 20th is going to be the most beautiful day you're going to get probably for the rest of the year. 62 degrees the high, tonight getting down to 37, partly cloudy outside. If you're able to get out and enjoy the backyard, the front yard, take a walk the dog, today is the day to do it. It's dropping 20 degrees on Saturday with a high of only 42 and cloudy all day. Sunday 45 with AM showers. Pretty much staying in the 40s all week long next week. The good news is it will hit the 50s, supposedly, with very little chance of rain and a partly sunny day outside on Thanksgiving. So if you're planning an outdoor event for the family, trying to keep things as safe as possible instead of doing it indoors, you are expected to at least get some reasonable weather for Thanksgiving. Not everyone has the best outlook, though, for Thanksgiving. And our next guest is going to tell you how you can help them this weekend. Sitting down here at my 9-foot homemade oak bar in my basement. We've got Thanksgiving coming up, and we've talked about this before, John Dalkey. It's not just the holidays where you need help over at the food pantry, but also around the holiday time, it's important that the food pantry is stocked. Am I right?
That's correct. We're having a lot of demand. Our demand over the summer was just off the charts. It dialed down a little bit starting in September and October, but I can see the number of people that need food is ramping up again with the increase of the virus. So the more help, the better.
The Evergreen Park Food Pantry, of course, located over at 98th and Washtenaw, and you've got some big events coming up this weekend. It's kind of this is the weekend to go out and help out your fellow man, your fellow woman in Evergreen Park. What do you have going on Saturday, first of all?
So Saturday, Queen of Martyrs is holding a food drive from 10 a.m. till 2. And then they're accepting drop-offs in the parking lot at Queen of Martyrs. Then Sunday is Fall Harvest. That's sponsored by Holy Redeemer.
That's the one where they go around and get them at the porches and stuff?
Yeah, they'll be going around picking them off people's porches that are in Holy Redeemer Parish. But anybody who doesn't want people coming up to their front porch, they can drop off stuff in the parking lot at Holy Redeemer, and anybody from Evergreen Park that's not in Holy Redeemer Parish, they can do that. I'd also say that we'll be open at the food pantry on Sunday too, from 9 until 1. So people can drop stuff off at the food pantry at 98th and Washtenaw, and it's in the old retired firehouse there, so we're pretty easy to locate. And if it's more convenient to drop it off at the food pantry, we'll be there Sunday, like I said, from 9 until 1.
I want to say Redeemer covers the entire side of Evergreen Park between Kedzie and Pulaski.
That's correct.
And so if you're in that area between Kedzie and Pulaski and Evergreen Park, you want to put out the food on the porch. Right. I'm aware of this because I have one kid in Redeemer because I got an email on it. they're making sure that, you know, the only kids that are participating, the only families that are participating know that they are symptom free. They're not letting anybody participate. If, let's say, like their school cohort, it like has one kid that's sick in it, like the whole group can't go and participate in this. So they're making sure that it's safe. Plus you're putting it on the porch. So on the porch with your door closed, it's like your curbside delivery right there. Mm-hmm. So you put out the packages and people take them. It's funny. My wife was going through and we've got stuff that we grabbed up during the spring lockdown when I was like, go get some canned foods just in case. And some of the stuff, she's like, what do I do with it now? As long as the date is still good, that we can still turn that stuff in, right?
Right. It's as long as the Best By hasn't passed, it's good. It's, you know, probably it could last beyond the Best By date, but you have to consider the people who are receiving it too. I don't want to really be giving them food that's past the Best By date.
Right. Now, around the time of the holidays, people might sit around and say to themselves, okay, I want to do something that's more in the spirit of the holiday. Like, what if somebody all of a sudden wanted to drop off a turkey or bring something that would seem to sit at a holiday meal? Are you looking for anything specific like that?
Well, you know, the typical fixings for a holiday dinner would be nice. I mean, we are giving out turkeys on Saturday.
That's awesome.
That's our to our patrons who have come to the food pantry during the months of September and October.
Basically, you can't be a new customer to grab yourself a free turkey.
Yeah, well, we order it based on our normal clientele, and now the orders come in, and, you know, we will get some new people, obviously, in November, but they won't be on the list for this turkey drive. So,
but you're giving out turkeys. That's kind of cool.
We're giving out turkeys. That's Saturday. That's another big deal. Well, you know, we've got 160 turkeys, so the first 160 people show up between 10 and noon who have got a card that's already been given to them by our organization. Then they'll get a turkey.
Do you ever get anybody that wants to bring you like fresh stuff? Like I keep thinking, like for Thanksgiving, you might have somebody that says, "Hey, I made a bunch of pies," or "I wanted to bring this for like." I mean, like, is that discouraged? Is that encouraged?
Well, not so much something like pies, but you know, people drop off produce all the time,
right?
And we've got the refrigeration space to store it. You know, pies. You know, and if we got it on a Saturday or a Sunday, then we wouldn't be giving away until the following Friday. So,
okay,
you know, if you want to give something that's that fresh, you're better off dropping it off on Friday during our normal distribution.
You told me one time when you were down here before that people normally give the essential items, but they forget those neat items that for a family that can't afford them, like birthday cake mix,
yes,
and things like that. Does that still hold true? Like if you had off the top of your head list about 2 or 3 things that you know you need more of, and you wanted to let people know, hey, we need this, what would come to mind right away for you?
Well, for the stuff that we don't ordinarily get from the food depository, it is things like birthday cakes, pie mixes, frosting for birthday cakes, pancake syrup, because that's not something we would typically get from the food depository. And it's, you know, so it's kind of a treat for the people because they're used to getting the regular whatever we get from the food depository. And during the holiday season, it is kind of nice to have something special, you know. And even things like flour and sugar, you know, is helpful because, you know, there's a lot of people that are bakers, you know, and they appreciate being able to do that.
John Dalke's from the Evergreen Park Village Pantry, the food pantry. Remember, folks, that's located over at 2704 West 98th Place, corner of 98th and Washtenaw. It's in the retired fire station right in Evergreen Park. You got the big drive this weekend. You got things available. People can bring in stuff all through the holiday season for you. You know, do some good. You may feel like you're hurting through this pandemic. Trust me, there's somebody who's hurting worse. It always seems to be that way. And we've heard stories from people who have contacted us after you're on, who have told us about the amazing work that you do and how it's benefited them. And people don't realize that person you're waving to on your block, mm-hmm, that's putting on a good smile, maybe visiting the food pantry, and you're helping out your direct neighbors here in Evergreen Park when you help out the food pantry. And John, you guys do great work, and I appreciate everything that you guys do.
Thank you, Chris.
You've heard us talk about Cool Cloud's Vapor Shop, local Evergreen Park business that helps people stop smoking. In fact, they've been around right here in Evergreen Park since 2014, and they are open and ready now to help smokers get off of cigarettes with a $30 starter kit. A wide range of devices are available. Try a different flavor or a nicotine strength. And right now they're offering curbside pickup, delivery, and shipping options. Cool Clouds also has a growing selection of CBD products and recreational cannabis accessories. First-time customers, mention the EP podcast for 20% off your first purchase when you sign up for the rewards program. With gift certificates available, get one now for the smoker you want to get off cigarettes. Cool Clouds Vapor Shop, 3837 West 95th Street in Evergreen Park. Age verification is required, must be 21. Remember, quitting smoking is hard. Lucky for you, there's Cool Clouds Vapor Shop. You know, interesting side note to that interview that you just heard, John Dalkey was sitting down here in my basement recording that segment, and when he showed up at the door, everything was totally fine outside. And about 15 minutes later, when he was walking out the door, he looked over and said, "Wow, what's going on over there on Turner?" And right around the corner from my house, it would seem like every fire truck in the area was over there. I later found out that a family of 4 lost their home and everything inside of it. Luckily, the entire family able to get out. Everybody's safe. And then I saw on Facebook that a GoFundMe campaign had begun for local people to help out this local family that lost everything right before Thanksgiving. As if 2020 couldn't get worse for them. The EP podcast has taken the GoFundMe link and placed it on our own Facebook page. So if you want to and you're able to help, go check that out. The information's there on the family, what happened. It's on our Facebook page. The link to go and donate is there as well. We want to help out as best we can. I've never met the family before, but if you're able to help out, go to the EP Podcast Facebook page today and go find that link. On Monday, we will talk with Mayor James Sexton about a bunch of things, including the holiday. We're actually going to ask him about that fire, local businesses, dealing with COVID, and much, much more. Make sure you check out that interview coming up this Monday on the EP Podcast, 30 Minutes of Good with Mayor James Sexton. In response to the governor's latest COVID-19 mitigations, bringing the entire state to Tier 3, Evergreen Park has shut down the following recreation department programs: dance classes, all youth sports, Tai Chi, cycling, yoga, youth drama classes. They are all temporarily suspended. Meanwhile, the youth department and the youth room is now closed to the public, and the family turkey shoot, open basketball and volleyball, and community chores programs are currently now on hiatus. So the turkey shoot that was planned, not happening. They will wait until the state goes back to Tier 4 to restart all of their programs. Any questions or concerns for the youth department, 708-229-3373. Each and every Sunday night, the Evergreen Park Recreation Department Candlelight Theater puts on a virtual show, and it's available on the Evergreen Park website, evergreenpark-ill.com. The new episode comes out every Sunday at 8 p.m. Think of it as local community theater as appointment television on your internet device. I think I got that right. Glenn Panuski would be happy with that description. In fact, they've asked me to put something together for one of the evenings during the holiday season. I still have to work out what I'm going to do. A lot of pressure there. If you want to check out this weekend's performance, whatever it may be, 8 p.m. on the website, evergreenpark-ill.com. Folks, this is the final weekend for you to help out homeless veterans with the drive going on over at Yukich Field looking for toiletry donations. Deodorant, hand soap, masks, toothpaste, toothbrushes, any personal hygiene products, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Bring them over there. Yukich Field, approximately at 89th and Kedzie. All the items collected over the last month or so going to be dropped off to the Hines VA Hospital this Tuesday, and thanks to all that have contributed or will be able to contribute this weekend. Finally, folks, just a reminder, a lot of good stuff on some recent EP podcast episodes, including a conversation with Dr. David Beckman of the Family First Medical Group, some real talk about COVID, separating facts from fear. With everything going on, it doesn't hurt to sit down and listen to a doc. Family First Medical Group over at 9730 Southwestern Avenue, Evergreen Care Center at 9760 South Kedzie Avenue, and Southwest Urgent Care at 2955 West 95th Street all have COVID testing available. I've also read that Mariano's in Evergreen Park now has it available, and all CVS pharmacies. I always hear people saying, where do I get a test? There are lots of options here in Evergreen Park. As I said before, Mayor James Sexton on this show this Monday. Thank you for listening to the EP podcast. Enjoy the really nice day if you're listening on Friday, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We will see you Monday for 30 Minutes of Good. That is the EP podcast, found everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com. Bye-bye, everybody.
Look at all those people in this great suburb, driving down 95th and Kedzie. What a great place. It's called Evergreen Park, but we know it better as the EP. We're known for more than just the Unabomber. Remember Ted Kaczynski? You guys might even remember that big old rooster on 95th Street. It's all part of EP's history. So listen up to the EP podcast. You might be asking why. Because we talk about all things and we celebrate all the great things in the 60805. It's the EP podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP podcast. Evergreen Park.